We're going to go to the spot where the infamous photos are of the BMW with the rims all bent up in the middle of an intersection. Believe it or not, they didn't stop here. That's not the intersection. It's over here. They turn right and then right again, where actually I'm just staying in that building there. It's just next to it. So that's the infamous spot where, you know, apparently Suge must have hit a curb along the way somewhere really fast. He hit a curb going too fast, blew the tires and the rims, and then they come to a stop because apparently they were speeding, and they spun out the car in this intersection and it was fucked. So, and then I'll explain the story when we get to the intersection. All right, we're gonna walk from the intersection. So we're gonna turn right onto Coville Lane, and it's gonna be straight. It's gonna be straight down. And it's going to be right on Harmon Avenue until we get to Las Vegas Boulevard, which is where Suge spun out. I was just saying, like, it's crazy that night. You know, he's hit a known gangbanger, known killer. And I get it, it would have been hot that night, but he used to wear a bulletproof vest. That night, he didn't wear the bulletproof vest. It was too hot, apparently, which I get. But if you just hit a crip, a gang member who is a known killer, who's in Vegas, and you've just hit him, you just stomped him, that's the night to be wearing the bulletproof vest, you know? That would have saved him, but yeah, it is what it is. The first responder who was on the scene first, the first cop, said Suge was pissing blood. And other people said this, like literally squirting blood from his head. Luckily the bullet didn't go into his brain, or it didn't crack this cranial, but it went through, I don't know, some bit in the head, and it just apparently squirting.
Pac saved my life. The reason why I say Pac saved my life, I got shot in the head, I got grazed some other places, but I still got the bullet in my head. It's still there.
From what Suge said on the way when he got shot, Suge, and you never know if he's telling the truth or not. I think he is, but he said that Tupac was joking with him and said, "Don't worry about me. Look at you. Your fucking head's squirting blood." Apparently they were joking after getting shot, which I don't know, it's hard to, I don't know if he's just trying to calm people down or whatever, but he said they were joking, and he was more worried about Suge than himself because Suge was squirting blood from his head.
Pac was a man the whole time. It wasn't that he was like, "Oh, I'm shot." He cracking jokes. He like, "Yeah, they shot me." He said, "But you shot in your head. Look at your head bleed. Look how much it's bleed." That was Pac. And I'm like, "Man, shut up, I'm gonna get you to the doctor."
So they, down there, that's the intersection, they get shot, turns right, comes down here, turns right, and then it's this intersection up here. So he blew his tires out, hit the rims real bad on the right hand side. So there's a guy on YouTube called Chris Carroll. He's done interviews with Art of Dialogue and Vlad and all the things, and he talks about he was the first responder that night. There's an ambulance place right there. That would have been very handy that night. Fucking hell. Anyways, Chris Carroll was the police officer that was first on the scene. He was the only cop on the scene. He pulled up as Suge spun out the car. He's seen the car spin out.
But so right at Harmon in the Strip, they go to hang a left on Harmon. The whole entourage does. Well, they're going too fast. They're going too fast, and their tires are blown out. So when they go to hang a left in the intersection, they kind of spin out. Well, they don't kind of spin out. They spin out the intersection, lose control of the vehicle, and the whole entourage comes to a stop. Now, at the same time, I'm coming sliding in on my bike. So this isn't really something like I pulled up on. We literally run into each other.
And he pulled up. He didn't know who was. All he knew was there were shots fired. He didn't know if Suge and that were the shooters or the bad guys or whatever. So he pulled his pistol and said, you know, like, stop what you're doing. Everyone got out. Apparently Suge was piss and blood. This is what Chris Carroll said, the cop.
Well, Suge Knight had been shot in the head, and what had happened is his scalp was penetrated, but not his skull. So he's literally got blood flying out the side of his head. But
said he was losing his mind, going crazy and cursing everyone out, all the things. And he said he's seen one other guy in the car. He thought, okay, this is probably the guy that's going to shoot me. Like, that's probably why he's in there. As he gets closer, he sees that it's Tupac slumped up against the door, And he tries to get him out, and he sees that there's bullet holes around the door handle. There's a lot of bullet holes, so he couldn't open it up, so he had to really yank it because the door must have been kind of broken. And he's pulled it out, and as he pulled it out, he reckons Tupac just slumped down, and he caught him before his head hit the concrete. He reckons it took about 5 minutes for the ambulance to get there, and in that time, okay, it's the next one. So this is Audrey Lane, Harmon Avenue, so that's the next one. So Chris Carroll said it was about 4 or 5 minutes before when he got on the scene. No other cops, he was only one. And there was about 9 guys, so Suge was one of them, Tupac, and then, security. Frank Alexander was one of the security. The Outlaws, Idi Amin would have been one of them. Gaddafi, who's passed away as well. I don't know, who there would have been more. They got out and he didn't know what to do. He was freaking out. He's like, fuck, I'm gonna get a shootout here. Anyways, before the ambulance came, he pulled out Tupac where he was slumped in the door. As he pulled the door, he slumped out like, he was dying. And he looked at Tupac and said, this guy, he's not gonna live. Like he knew straight away, like the way he was looking, the bullet holes, the blood. He said, like, he thought this guy's not going to make it, most likely not going to make it. So he tried to get a confession out of Tupac.
And I looked at him and I was like, you know what, this guy's probably going to die. I could tell looking at him. It was a bad situation.
He reckons he wasn't paying attention to him. The police officer, Chris Carroll, was trying to get his attention. Look, trying to, get a confession out of him. Hey, who did this? Blah, blah, blah. And he was looking at Suge. Suge was screaming at Tupac, kind of panicking apparently. Obviously, his friend just is shot up and dying. And he's trying to get a confession out of Tupac. And then he reckons he finally locked eyes with him, finally acknowledged his existence. Tupac looked at the cop. He's trying to muster, because he couldn't talk. Apparently he was breathing, couldn't breathe. He couldn't talk. He's trying to say things to Suge but couldn't get it out. And then he finally looked at the cop and the cop said, Chris Carroll said, who did this? Who shot you? And he thought he was going to tell him because Tupac was, breathing, trying to say something to him. And he goes, all right, come closer and listen. And then he reckons all he heard was Tupac go, fuck you. So he said, fuck you. And then apparently his eyes rolled back, lost consciousness. And apparently that was his last words.
So I looked at him and now he looked at me and it's kind of the first time he's even acknowledging that I'm there. And I go, what happened, man? I go, who shot you? Who did this? And he started, he's trying to get a breath together and he's looking at me and I thought he's actually going to tell me. And, he got his breath together and he looked at me and he said, fuck you. And after he said it, his eyes kind of rolled back in his head, started gurgling, blood coming out of his mouth and nose, and he slipped out of consciousness. So that would be his last words that he ever said.
And Chris Carroll reckons he spoke to the doctors, which was a state-of-the-art hospital, and they reckon he was dead on the way to the hospital. But because they have really good machines and state-of-the-art at that time, they kept him alive manually, but his brain activity apparently was gone. So most likely this is actually where he died, unfortunately. Now, technically, they say he died 6 days later. His mum said, hey, we're going to pull the plug and ended life support. But from what he said, he was likely dead pretty much here or just after here. Now, some people, I think Snoop and that, said they spoke to him. There's so many things going around that he was still alive and he wasn't alive, and there was body doubles, and so many things. It's hard to know what to believe. I tend to believe the police officer because he's got no reason to lie, put it that way. Shit, it's actually further than I thought. Okay, so this is Planet Hollywood Way. It must be the next intersection. So yeah, that's pretty sad, but it's funny because in one of his songs, what does he say? I'll be cursing the law when I die, something like that. He basically said that's what he's going to be doing.
Right before I die, I'll be cursing the law.
So yeah, it was interesting to hear from Chris Carroll, the police officer. Yeah, I feel like he's not lying. I feel like a lot of people do lie about what happened because they want to get clout or whatever. I don't know. It's hard to know what to believe. I know Snoop said he was speaking to him. Chris Carroll also said it was packed. Like when he got here, he said there was just crowds everywhere, just because back then he was saying they didn't have these things that you walk up, pedestrians go up and walk over. You had to walk across the road, so people were everywhere, on the roads, everywhere. So any chance of evidence was pretty much fucked, because people were just walking in the crime scenes, and I don't know, that's what they say. I don't know, who knows? Sugar's come up here, and apparently Chris Carroll said that he was going way too fast on those rims that were already fucked, and I think he tried to turn or something, and he literally just spun out in this intersection. I've heard good things about this place, by the way. Nacho Daddy. Might have to try that out.
What road did they say he crashed on?
Las Vegas Boulevard, which is a strip.
Oh yeah.
He literally was on the strip.
Oh, made it back to the strip.
Yeah, they made it back to the strip. So this is the strip here. I might go up there, might get a better view of like the road. This was, I think, right there. So he would have come around the bend, spun out here. Chris Carroll said it was right in front of what's now the Cosmopolitan, which wasn't there back then, which is right there. It's right there. So they come through here, and he spun out there. Apparently in front of the Cosmopolitan, which is that one there. So if you look, so that's the island. But that photo is from the other side. They come through here, spun out right there. Right there. Down there. The BMW is right down there. So they come down, spun out. Crazy. This is the spot. So then they spun out here. They pulled up there, and Chris Carroll said, this all happened, this is on the strip. Literally on the strip. All of this. So there was people everywhere. Tupac was slumped, like I said before. He was slumped, pulled him out, fell out. And according to Chris Carroll, the last words were "fuck you" to Chris Carroll, to the cop. And then apparently his eyes rolled backwards. Blood was coming out of his mouth, and he was dying. He did say though he was fighting for a bit, like he was trying to like talk and talk to Suge, and he was trying to get some things out. But he reckons there was this moment that he just kind of surrendered and went peaceful. And that's when he said "fuck you," and then he went peacefully. So, which is nice to hear. He went peacefully. Some argue, like Chris Carroll basically said, he pretty much died here. Maybe he died on the way, but he was pretty much dead. They kept him alive on the ventilators and all things, but then some people reckon he was talking in the hospital. So, I'm not sure. As we're here, we're realizing that the MGM is there. The MGM, he had the fight, all right? He went to the Luxor. He would have went from there. He would have come past here. He literally would have come past here before getting shot, because he came through here, down there, turned right, either that one or the next one, down whatever Flamingo is. So he turned right down Flamingo, and then got shot. Then they turned right, and then right again, and then ended up here. He would have come past here before he got shot. All right, like, pretty much the spot he died, according to Chris Carroll. But officially he died in the hospital, which we're going to go there now. We're going to get an Uber to the hospital. Apparently it's a little bit of a drive, but they went there apparently because they were saying, why didn't you go to closer hospitals? But apparently the ambulance took him to that one because that's the state of the art, because he was in a bad way. His only chance was getting, the best help. Yeah, I couldn't imagine getting shot and you're lying on the middle of the strip. It's the middle of the strip, dying. Potentially even died in front of so many people. I can't believe there's not as many eyewitnesses to it. How is there not like hundreds of eyewitnesses that have told their story? Maybe there are. I haven't found them. Like right now, if it happened right now, this is not busy for the strip. If it happened right now, there'd be 500 witnesses, 1,000 witnesses.
It's ridiculous.
But that night would have been packed. It would have been packed. That blows my mind. Anyways, all right, we're gonna go to the hospital, get an Uber. Let's go. This will be the last and final point of his 24 hours.